I have a question. Would you say that this is the most disappointing flagship model from Jordan out of all 38, 39?
This is the 39, but no, I would not, definitely would not designate this the most disappointing. If anything, this, much like the 31, had the most potential.
So is the 31 the most disappointing?
No, I just I put this on that same level where they were this close. The 31s had the traction issue. These have a stability issue. Does that mean that they're complete trash? No. It just means that a little fine tuning, which I hope we see. That's the thing. Will they dump the tech and, I don't know, do something for the 40? It sounds weird to say, but the Air Jordan 40. Or will they stick with this and do what they should do, which is just kind of tweak it a little bit, make it better. Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. I've been playing in the Air Jordan 39 for almost 2 weeks now, so this is the performance review based on my experiences. Like I was saying before, they were so close, dude. Like, there's parts of this shoe that are just fantastic, and then there are parts of the shoe where I'm just like, damn it, why couldn't that have just been fine-tuned a little, just a little? But before we get started, we do have a quick word from today's sponsor, and that's the good folks over at Sole Premise. They provide premium or luxury style bags, but the catch is that they are all catering towards sneaker lovers. They have a wide variety of different options and different materials and different colors. So as an example, this guy right here is just their daily commuter bag. This is essentially just a regular backpack, but the difference is that they can hold 2 pairs of shoes in there up to size 15.
Excellent.
I personally love these bags because when I go on short trips, I'm able to wear 1 pair and then stick a secondary pair inside of the shoe storage. And then instead of opting to throw in a 3rd pair of sneakers, that's where I actually put my clothes. And then when I'm going on longer trips, this bag right here is what I typically like to use. It holds up to 5 pairs of shoes. On top of all of that, these bags are TSA approved. They can fit underneath the seats or in your overhead compartment. This particular one is made out of polyester instead of a more premium leather, so there's different options and varieties depending on what you want. Last but not least, this is my favorite bag and the one that I use all the time, mostly because, well, we're gym rats here, and I also test shoes for a living, and this bag right here lets me do all of that stuff all at once. This is a brand new version of their gym bag, where this one is decked out in premium goodness, and I'm not gonna bring this one with me because I don't wanna ruin it and get it all wet and sweaty. So instead I bring this one, but the good news is that they both fit 4 pairs of sneakers, which is amazing. If you have your testing shoe, then your backup shoe, and then maybe there's a backup for the backup, and by chance, maybe a backup for that, I don't know. What I like to do is fill it up with 3 pairs, and then my leftover compartment has my change of clothes, deodorant, my water bottles, a basketball pump, and then for my AirPods and whatever else I might be bringing, there's a ton of storage options for that too. So for whatever your needs are, Sole Premise has probably got you covered. So if you're interested, make sure that you click the link down below in our description box. It'll send you over to Sole Premise's website, solepremise.com, where you could check out all the variety of different options, all the different colors, what's on sale, all that kind of good stuff. Now, as far as the performance is concerned, the outsole was very good in most situations. The only problem is just that this rubber, or this compound of rubber, is kind of a dust magnet. So if there's anything on the floor, this will find it. But linear coverage and lateral coverage was really good, especially if you keep them clean. The only time that I ever had like a weird wipeout moment, it would be kind of like in random situations, which is the main reason why I can't like be like, yeah, this is the best traction ever, because there would be certain times when like I would pump fake and then do a hard jab and then pull back, but on the hard jab, the plant, this thing would just wipe me out, and I'd do like a split and it would just suck. It wouldn't do it all the time, which is why it was very frustrating. But either way, that was my experience. I don't think that it's a bad setup. I just think that it needs a little bit of fine tuning. I don't think that they're quite as bad. Like if we're gonna compare like the 31 traction to something like this is leaps and bounds better than that. But is it elite traction? It's close, but not close enough. Now the cushion, if I could just sum it up in one word, is fantastic. Like this ZoomX is legit. However, it's also where the main issue that I ran into with the shoe was. It was within the cushion itself. ZoomX is extremely bouncy, and this is the first time that I've experienced it like this, and I know that runners have already been like, yo, we've been using, I get it. I'm not a runner. I don't wear those shoes usually. I play basketball though, and the only ZoomX experience I had previously was in the form of the GT Cut 3s, and that was a fantastic shoe. I think that those felt springy enough, but stable enough, and it was just a really fun ride. This guy right here feels, well, I mean, if I can explain it in another word, it'd be explosive. The cushion right here just feels like it's trying to like throw you or launch you right out of the gym. Like this is a very bouncy setup. I almost feel like you don't even need the bottom loaded zoom air in there because you can't even really tell it's there. The Zoom X is doing most of the work. It's I would love to see something like this fine-tuned, especially if it could be carried over to the next model. This is where I'm really hoping that Jordan Brand doesn't just like do a one and done with something like this, like what we've seen in the past. Like that full-length unlock zoom from the 31, where is it? It's nowhere. The Formula 23 from the Air Jordan 37, where is it? It's nowhere. Although you could say that they used it in the 38s, but certain item descriptions said that that was Cushlon. So what is it? Now, what do I think was the main problem with this particular setup? I think it was the cupsole, which is weird to say because that's the area that is supposed to provide the stability for, you know, what it's housing, which would be that Zoom X midsole inside. One of my thoughts was maybe if they just made it a little wider, it would be a little bit better, less tippy feeling. But then I was thinking, well, if the foam is that soft, then maybe making it bigger would be worse. It would cause like durability or even more potential stability issues. Maybe their goal was to really house and contain it tightly, and I think maybe that was the problem, where this cupsole right here quite literally is one full piece of rubber. The midsole siding and the bottom outsole are one whole piece. If they would have taken a kind of like note from what Adidas has done in the past with their Boost stuff, or even what a lot of Chinese brands are doing right now with their Boom, where they have a firmer sidewall right here, and either it'll have a exposed medial and then a separate bottom for the outsole. That way the medial side is allowing the midsole to move and compress and basically react the way that it's supposed to. Then the lateral sidewall is firm enough to where you're not rolling over. And then the outsole is obviously the outsole. So it's there, it's doing its job. I think that this right here might have been a cost cutting measure. This is a lot more affordable to make one whole piece of a cupsole than it is to make 3 components or 2 components. So it might just be just a bad decision on that part, but one that I think can easily be fixed. Do I think the lack of torsion in the shoe is the reason for the instability? No. Again, like this midsole right here is very soft and squishy. It like bounces like crazy. So I think that when you look at something like this, at least the way that it was feeling in motion is just that this sidewall right here does expand and allow the foam to do what it's doing. But in doing that, it's also like creating like this tipping motion with certain movements, and it would come out of nowhere, kind of like the traction, where I'd be good to go, and then out of nowhere I'd have a move, and then boom, like I would feel like I just rolled my ankle. And so it was making my ankles work overtime, trying to keep my whole body stable. And this is one of the only shoes, it might be the only shoe actually, where I've actually experienced extreme soreness in my joints well after playing.
No, don't like that.
So yeah, I think that there's parts of the cushion that are just phenomenal, and I would hope to see this again very soon. I just hope that they can contain it in a way to where you can still feel it, like they did in the GT Cuts. That's the thing, if you're gonna compare the two shoes, the GTs in comparison feel muted compared to this, and those still felt great. So if we can get somewhere in the middle, I think that this right here would be an amazing ride. The materials are probably my favorite aspect of the shoe. I just love leather. I think that it feels good, it looks good, it plays good. The way that it breaks in, the more that you wear it, it was just fantastic. I miss this in basketball shoes so much, you guys don't even know. So I love that it's back and on this shoe. Will it be back like on the next model? Probably not. They keep doing that. They'd be like, oh, we're doing lightweight stuff today. And then tomorrow we're doing, oh, we want to bring back leather again.
I'm in a glass case of emotion.
I hope that they stick with the leather thing, kind of like the Zoom X. I hope that they stick with that. I just hope that we can get a little bit more of it. And in my first impression of the video, the first breakdown, I had said that everything feels real flimsy and stuff, and I was hoping that it would like really suck around your foot and just lock everything in. And I'm glad to say that that's exactly what it did. Like it felt like I was wearing a sock with a really bouncy bottom. Now, as far as sizing is concerned, I'd go true to size. I think that they fit perfect. The only thing that I would say to watch out for, and this is a normal thing for basketball shoes, is that they sort of kind of like stretch a little bit throughout your night. Obviously, if you're playing in a regulated game, you're not gonna have this problem, but I don't do that. I play pickup, so I'm usually there for a few hours. And the way that I would tighten the laces in the beginning, I would have to then adjust and retighten kind of in the middle because they would stretch out a little bit. But other than that, true to size I think will work for most people. If you are a wide footer and you happen to be able to get these in store to try them on. That's what I would do. Just to be safe, I want to say that all of this will be a little forgiving. The materials are flexible and light and all that stuff. The materials do break in really well, but everybody's width is different. Like some people are slightly wide, some people are very wide. So if you're one of those guys, just try them on in store if possible, just to be sure. The support also kind of like took a hit, even though the fit almost saved it, but there's also no real true outrigger. There is that lack of torsion rigidity, so like that's something too. Again, I didn't find that to be a huge problem. I felt like the tipping motion was more of a problem, so if they could just kind of make that situation more stable, then I think that everything would kind of like be good to go. So overall, I don't think that they're horrible. I don't think that this was a complete disaster, but there are some things that I think that they could tweak and really make better, stability being the main one. The cushion is great, so again, I would like to see this again. I would just like to see it in a more stable form. That way it's not putting so much stress on my ankles. Now, with all that being said, do we happen to have time for a question of the day?
Yes, I believe this question is piggybacking off of the question of the day where we asked, what is your rotation as far as on court, off court, and then casually around the house?
Okay.
So why do you still come back to Kobe 4s and Nike shoes in general? Why not Wade's or other shoe brands?
I think that that depends on the year that I'm playing. So like if I don't love the Wade shoe for the year, then I'm not gonna put that as my rotation. I think that it's that simple. If you look at years past, there has been times when it's either a Curry or a this or a that. And so it just really depends on what the model is that I find best or most comfortable for me that particular like overall year or season. So yeah, why the Kobe 4 though? Mainly because of like what you're comfortable playing in. You know what I mean? Like, do you remember when the Kobe 4 originally came out? 2009?
Yeah.
How many pairs of those did I buy?
A ton.
Yes.
If someone were to ask me, why does Chris always have like a Kobe 4 in his bag? I would say because it fits your foot perfectly.
That's what I'm saying. Like that familiarity,
Yeah.
that I'm like the consistency the traction, the fit. The cushion could be a little bit better, but like too much, you know what I mean? So like it just depends on the shoe, but that shoe specifically, I mean, has been really one of my favorite shoes since 2009. Like I can't even tell you how many pairs of those I bought originally. I had almost every colorway and I didn't even get to run through them all because they aged faster than I did, essentially, you know what I mean? So like I love the shoe. It's a shoe that I put on and I'm instantly like, yeah, I can get buckets. And I know that everybody has one of those shoes that you just feel is like for you. And if you do, I'd love to know what it is, whether it's a Wade, an Under Armour, a Jordan, a Nike, whatever. I don't really care, you know what I mean? Like I don't have like a specific bias towards a brand. I have love for Jordan Brand, which some people translate as hate, but it's like, no, I want you to be great. So it bums me out when you're not. But anyways, with all that being said, if you've played in the Air Jordan 39, I'd love to know your guys' thoughts. I keep hearing mixed things. Some people love them, some people hate them. Which side of the fence are you on? Sound off below and let us know. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We really appreciate you guys. We will see you on the next one. So until then, y'all have a good one.